30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Connection Interruption Podcast, everybody. Brought to you by Team Frisch here on the Team Frisch Twitch channel. I am your host, Touched Artist, aka Ryan Sparks. With me tonight is Mark, It's Swing Live, and Tay, DJ Tay Boogie. What is happening, gentlemen?
What's good, my guys, my fellas, my brothers? What's good?
I'm still waiting, sitting here, waiting very patiently for New World. And we'll continue to sit here and wait.
We're gonna be waiting for a while for that one, I'm afraid.
I am. Let's see, 3 weeks from yesterday.
3 weeks from yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to be patiently waiting on this love seat here in the game room. I am feeling it today, so I was like, I'm going to sit in a different spot. I warned y'all that it might happen.
Right? Yeah, you did
week.
say that. You did.
I was like, all right, it may happen. I may be dragging. So, but yeah, welcome to the show, everybody. As always, we're brought to you by Frisch's Big Boy, Team Frisch.
Yep. Team Onion Rings today.
Team Onion Rings, yeah. Mark prefers not the onion rings, but
I'm a French fry guy.
He's the fry guy. What are you guys playing right now? What have you guys been up to this week?
Well, I've been prepping myself for Friday, of course, because the 2K22 comes out. Also been playing Madden 22, Grand Theft Auto, since I'm going to be forever waiting on a new one for that one. And
you got to wait longer for that than Mark has to wait for New World.
Right. And then I went and bought the Sims College Edition on PC just to burn time and create somebody's life.
All right.
So that was it.
Simulation.
Yes.
So what's your favorite Sims? And not to get too far off topic too quickly, but
no, my favorite one was it was the last one, the luxury life edition. It was like an add-on. So it's like you could be like a millionaire and had all the houses and stuff. Like, yeah, it was a couple of years ago
though. I just don't get the appeal of that game.
It burns time.
I guess. I guess.
Doesn't every game?
Yeah, that's what I was hoping. Yeah, I mean, like I tried to play it and just could not get into it. My kids like it, but like I was just like, nah.
It's like you try to fix all the mistakes in your life on a video game. Like, hey, if I wouldn't have did this,
like,
I could do this.
You gotta go to work, and I don't.
Right?
I'm like, yeah, I got to do that in real life. That's not.
I liked the only one I've ever liked was either the second or third. I think it was the second one because it was on the PlayStation 2, and yeah. So the only reason I liked that one is because there was actually like some progression to that one. It had like a weird story mode where like this real rich guy came up and messed everything up, and like you had to go household to household and get certain objectives done before you could move on to the next household. And each time it'd be like richer and richer. I don't know. I remember playing as a kid, but I always never beat it. But I'm gonna have to like look into that.
Huh.
But I'm
See,
gonna look up what that mode was called. But I just know that they've never had that ever since.
hey, I got addicted to the Sims again. Yes.
Oh no. So what are you playing, Mark?
I've just been playing Sims 2. No, I'm just kidding. Rocket League and Escape from Tarkov. It's just been those two. They'll probably remain those two with maybe like I don't know something random like Minecraft or something between now and the 28th of this month. And after that, it will be New World until Battlefield comes out.
One of my coworkers was talking about Escape from Tarkov today. That he was really into it. So
Yeah, it's all I've always been into like survival games and also like looter shooter kind of thing. So and it's pretty hardcore, so it's like a good mix in between. There's not a whole lot of games that like I'll be sitting here like literally sweating, my heart beating out of my chest because I'm like fearing for my not only my life but my gear, or if like everything will be quiet and all of a sudden I'm jumping out of my seat because I'm getting shot at or something. It just is a really intense game. I don't know how they managed to do it, but it's just everything about it is super intense.
So you're using a heart
interesting.
monitor thing that you was talking about?
Sometimes on and off. It kind of depends on how long I'm going to stream, and sometimes I just forget to put it on. I'm just trying to hop on and play for a little bit. But no, I do try to use that as much as I can.
So does it really like not to get off subject? Like 'cause we gotta get the wire. Does it really like monitor and suggest anything like hey you're doing too much or
So yeah, so it's a Polar H10. It's actually meant for working out. So it does its job, and it does it well, and it's very accurate. Um, Basically, the only difference is like using it for streaming is you're using the actual device, you're using their actual app. The only difference is you're using a third-party software that connects Streamlabs and your mobile app. So it's
gotcha?
all very live, very fast, and yeah, it's super nice, super cool.
Yeah, and during Battlefield streams, it'll show that I'm dead. They'll be like, this guy should be dead based on what his heart rate is right now.
But yeah, so just those two games. What about you, Ryan?
I've been playing some Pokemon Unite, which is surprising to me. It's the MOBA that's out on Switch that's free. It plays like League of Legends, but it's with Pokemon characters. So I was pleasantly surprised with that game, like that it caught my attention. I did play a little bit of Mario Maker 2 again this past week, just kind of messing around with that. But I started Hades again for what is now like the third time, I think. It was my
Started
game.
over?
Yeah, well, yeah, like I've already beaten it twice. Like it was my game of the year last year, and I keep going back to it, and I don't know why. It's like I really like it, obviously, with it being my game of the year last year, but I've already played it twice, but I keep getting sucked back into it. So,
So question: are you playing on the same game mode or are you doing it harder every time?
I've played it harder. Like I'm pretty hefty into the difficulty right now. The first time I played it through, I played it on like baby ass baby mode.
Okay.
You know, like I played it on super easy just to kind of get through it. But yeah, I mean I'm not playing it on the lowest difficulty anymore, but it's still like I've already played it, so why am I going back when there's so many other things I could be jumping into? Um and then I played a little bit of Marvel Superheroes again and Madden, obviously, since that's out. I played a couple games of that, and I'll probably jump on that tonight for the show after the show. But
I'll wait for the invite.
well, I got it on Xbox,
Oh, they have
so
it's, you can cross platform.
no, there's no cross-platform on it.
Yeah, well, you can
But
do PS4 to PS5, but it won't let you.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
So because I'm on Xbox, we can't do that yet. But I mean, if when it goes on sale on PlayStation, I'll probably pick it up on PlayStation as well. But I had to get it on Xbox because my son and I will both play it, and he only has an Xbox, so there's always that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, that's pretty much it for me this week. And honestly, it's been very limited playtime. So, you know, not the normal sit down sessions and play for long periods of time. I've been literally falling asleep with like the Switch in my lap. Like, because I mean, so I started a new job this week. It's been a little bit,
Hectic.
yeah, it's been just a different schedule. Like it's a little bit longer of a commute, which is fine, but it takes a little bit more time. And like anything, when there's a change in your life, you've got some different things going on and whatever. But just cut down into my time. And then my younger girls soccer team that I coach had a tournament this past weekend. They won the championship, which was awesome, but
Yeah,
that literally cut all of my free time out on the weekend. Like,
Right.
we're like, hey, we qualified for the championship game. And I was like, man, that means I got to be there
Early.
later on Sunday than I thought I was going to have to be. And it kind of cut into game time, which it's fine because they played really well, but it definitely cuts into your gaming time when you're coaching and stuff.
But congratulations to the girls, though.
Yeah, it was good. It was fun. There, hopefully we do well again this weekend. They play 2 games this weekend again, so we'll see how that goes. And my middle child has 3 games this weekend. She's playing for another team as well. So my gaming this weekend will be very limited, I think. But I'm going to try to sneak my Switch with me a little bit so we can get some extra play time in. So we said last week we wanted to talk about dream game rooms.
Yes.
Right. And
Right.
I'm kind of sitting in mine. But it's a little bit short of what I really like ultimately would like to have, like total dream world. But what about you guys? Like I know Tay, you said you've got some
Yeah. As you
some
can
ideas
see,
of what you want.
yeah, as you can see, like the past couple of shows behind me has been looking like a complete mess. I don't have my lights up. I don't have my posters. I got some of my toys up. Yeah, see, I got it this time. Yeah, some of my toys. See, there you go. I got some of my collectibles up. I got my journals, and I got to redo my bookshelf because, like, in my game room, I got my DJ stuff. My you can't see my audio production, video production over here, and then I got my art desk with the collectibles. So my systems that I got in the room, I got my PS3, got my PS4, I got my Switch, I got the PC that I'm building behind. You could barely see it. Then I have the Atari Arcade, and then I have the Backbone. That's all the ones that I have here. Now, I really want to get every generation of PlayStation. My Xbox and my Xbox 360 are in storage. I have to clean those up. I want to bring those back into the room. I think I might need 2 more TVs. But like I have the JBL audio connected for that. So I want to put some lights and like stars, something on the wall while I'm playing. And I need a new gaming chair because this one's falling apart. I got the steering wheel for the PS4, PS3, and I want the actual racing chair.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been debating on one of those racing chairs for a while. I don't know where I would put it. Like that's there's a couple pieces in my room that I just don't know where I'd put. Racing chair would be one of them. What about you, Mark? What's your
So
dream setup?
So mine would be almost a small like building because back in the room that I used to stream from all the time at my dad's, that was my gaming room. Not necessarily dream, but it was there in a small picture in a sense. Like mine has always my idea of like a dream game room has always been about not really like just me and my kingdom kind of thing. Like, oh, this is like everything. Mine is more centered around like bringing a bunch of people in. Like, I would love to have enough tables and gaming computers to where I could have, 4 to 6 or even 8 of my friends, depending, realistic number is 4. That's the most amount I could fit in my old one with 2 lifetime. I had 2 lifetime tables pushed back to back. They're both 6 feet long. and me and my buddy would sit on one side, and two other friends on the other, and we would all play game battles together, and that was like some of the most fun experience. Like, super competitive Call of Duty, and you went around, you're all high fiving over the table, getting hyped up, and just like that energy is just so much fun to me, and
Mhm.
it's a little different than what you can get over Discord, like over Discord you get hype, or when like your
Right.
friends aren't there and all of a sudden all pizza's here and you're all just, I don't know. I love that idea. So like it'd definitely be like something like that. However, I would want a bigger area because let me tell you, 4 PS4s in a small bedroom, like
Gets
it
hot.
would get
Yeah,
hot.
yeah, that don't
Dead of
even.
winter, dead of winter, both windows open, doesn't matter. You're just sitting there sweating. You're like wondering if you can get away with turning on the AC without my parents finding. Like it's so hot. So like I would kind of want like some like tall ceilings, with like some ceiling fans. That would be pretty
Dope. Yeah,
nice.
must
And
have.
then yeah, and then some other things. I mean, I do like arcade games and stuff like that, but I wouldn't want a bunch of them because I've had one before, and it was more of just like my dad found one for cheap, and he was just kind of flipping it, and we'd play it every now and then. So I'd kind of just want like an arcade machine that's just like got like every arcade machine game like ever on it, just like an emulator or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd have that just so I can have, you have the retro games, you're
Gotcha.
good to go, kind of thing like that. Of course, um, I would want a bunch of Philips Hue lights like that I have already, but
Yeah.
also on my old room, which I just haven't really honestly like this old house that we're in right now. Like I don't even know if the electrical could run those nano leafs that I had, but I loved those nano leafs, and I just don't want to
We
set the house on fire.
we had to upgrade here for a lot of
Yeah,
my lighting.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
energy, you can only have so many amps going to the house, and newer houses have up to 200 amps or even more, where these older houses maybe
Don't-
75.
Hey, don't do it. Yeah, they do not do it. I'm scared to plug up this mega bar I just got. Do not do it.
Yeah,
You should be fine as long as you're not running a ton of other stuff.
right,
And that's the crazy thing, because like in my room, like my audio video production stuff runs a lot. Then like my gaming stuff, and then like my DJ stuff too. It's like, okay, whatever I'm doing, everything else has to be off. I need to spread the room out more. So I'm definitely working on that. I'm trying to get a storefront, like a practice space, and just spread everything out.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That'd be cool. Yeah, so for me, like it's funny that Mark mentioned like wanting to have a bunch of people in one space. So my space here, the original creation idea was to have 4 setups to where you could LAN party,
right,
right? Like that was the original concept. And then COVID became a thing.
yeah,
Um, and it turned into kind of our family space. Now the 4 of us do play together, so like there's 4 Xbox One consoles of some sort in this room. So I have a Series X, a Series S, an original Xbox One, and then an Xbox One X on the 4 TVs that are in here. So they're all playable, can all link together and play. But the whole concept, and I'm going to put this up on the screen so people can see, the whole concept behind this room started with a LAN party that happened when I was a store manager at GameStop. This was our condo on New Year's Eve.
Wow.
We put TVs back to back, like set up plastic tables and just put systems wherever we could, right? So like we're all just playing on random consoles in the same room. And that was where I got the original like idea of the current setup here at
right,
the house. Because I wanted to be able to do that without having to like tear down and rebuild and tear down and rebuild. So I mean, we built a 13-foot wide shelf down here, have two 55-inch TVs in these corners. We do have the arcade one-ups behind me, which the kids play quite a bit, actually. My youngest plays the Marvel versus Capcom, like
Nice.
pretty much
Nice.
nonstop. But for me, it was always about like community and like having a bunch of people together. So the idea was to get everybody here and play. And then it became, now I need to set up the network well enough down here that not only can we all play together here, but we need to be able to play with people that are in their own space.
Now, I was about to ask you, how strong is your network? Because that's a lot of power.
So we have the highest speed internet that we can get in our area. But my wife also works from home. So like it's like a business class internet. So we had to do that for her initially, and then like we just kind of upgraded where we could. And just did what we can do. But the ultimate setup was just like, hey, let's try to get as much of this space to where it's functional. To now it looks kind of like this is a panoramic view of the room.
Wow.
So yeah, so there's the 49-inch widescreen on the left side there. And then there's a 32-inch screen next to that, which looks super tiny next to the widescreen, right? But the 255 inches in each corner on the other side. And then the lockers that you see on the right-hand side that have the controllers hanging off of them.
Yeah.
My wife is actually making a thing that says choose your weapon that's going to go above it. And then all the charge stations that are in the white cubes in the picture are actually going to go inside the lockers. So you have to open the locker to get your controllers out.
Hey, can you send me that picture for motivation? Yeah, I need it. I need to get mine together over here.
Yeah, I mean, and so like, and everybody's like, man, how did you put that together in such a short period of time? It's legitimately a lifetime's worth of stuff. Like it wasn't
timetable. What 10, 20 years?
When the NES come out? 85.
85. Yeah.
I mean, there's an NES in here. There's an SNES. Like, if I just rattle off like, and I'm not flexing, so anybody who's gonna think like, hey, he's just showing off. No. I worked to figure out ways to make this work because I wanted to bring people together. Like, I actually eventually want to host the podcast with all of us in the same room. Like this, there's cameras in here as well where we could host the podcast with screens behind us and do the whole show from one space.
Well, tell the queen of the house we'll behave and keep our mask and stuff on.
She knows. Yeah, she kind of knows. But like, I mean, you get every Nintendo is in here except for the Wii.
Why no Wii?
Because I have a Wii U and it'll do the same stuff.
Gotcha.
And then I have all the PlayStations hooked up. PSVR is here. All the Xboxes, the 3 arcade 1-ups. I have a Neo Geo Mini, and then I have one of those Fight Stick Pandora's Box fight sticks, like with all the retro games. The Genesis and Dreamcast. Somebody offered me a crazy amount of money for my Saturn, so I sold it.
What?
So I have a Japanese import Saturn that was like silver.
You know how hard it is to get your hands on one of those?
I know, because I'm already replacing it with an American one. Like, so somebody was like, "Hey, I'll give you X number of dollars for the silver Saturn because it's a Japanese import." And I was like, "I'm aware it's a Japanese import. Like, I'm not ignorant. I get it. I know what's going on." And he was like, "Well, here's the cash deal. Take it or leave it." And I immediately bought another Saturn, like an American one, and came out way ahead.
So, how did you end up with it in the first place? You just happen to have it?
Flea market.
Are you serious?
I want to say I got it. At like Trader's World or Turtle Creek or one of those places. Like when I was younger. Like
wow.
I'm 99% sure that's where it came from because I've had it for a very, very long time.
Right.
And then I have all the handheld consoles down here too. And on my GameCube, I have the Game Boy adapter, so I can play all Game Boy games on the TV as well.
Sweet.
But both of the big screens, both the 55 inches, can play any of the consoles in the room at any given time, just by the flip of a switch.
So you got the splitter.
Yeah, so I have HDMI splitters and RCA system selectors and things like that. And there's 2 switches down here too. So if we want to play like Smash, we can do that. And there's a dock at every screen.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Well, since you talk about so, whatever you get paid today, I'm gonna have to pay you that, and you just come over and help me pick this back here together.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, and I've talked about it before, and I thought about redoing, like, taking everything down and then doing a tutorial of like how to set it up if you wanted to set up something similar. And my idea came from another podcast actually. The show's called Cheap Ass Gamer. And there's a guy on there who's from Cincinnati actually. Shipwreck is the name he goes by on the show, but he has his entire setup available for people to see from that show, and he did it even like he one up me. Like he straight up has one of the coolest setups of old school stuff.
Well, I hate to see his electric bill.
Yeah, I mean that is one thing you have to kind of be concerned about. Like you have to watch, like we have LED lights down here. We've got the blue, like I've got blue lights that rope the whole shelving unit. All 3 of the arcades have LED lights on the back. I can just flip a switch and they light up and I can pick any color. I have 2 of those monster panels, like the lights that Mark was kind of talking about.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't get the nicer ones like he have. I got the cheaper ones. Monster makes ones that are similar to those. And they're like $50 or $60 a set. Walmart sells them, but you can link them together. So if you buy like 4 sets, you can control them with one remote. And then I have some other ones that I've bought over the course of time. But everything, like, it's probably, I mean, we've only lived here 3 years now. And secured, like, we've got everything like locked up and whatever, but it's been a 10 to 20 year process. Like,
Right.
you know, like I put stuff aside and I would just box it. Like my GameCube probably hadn't been played in years before we moved here. Because honestly, like I just didn't have the space for it. I mean, you saw the condo. I just shared a picture of that LAN
Right.
party where everybody's on top of each other. There's no way I was gonna have it all hooked up there, right?
So yeah, right. So like, even when you started taking stuff out the boxes, did you have to repair anything? Like, because I took my PS3 out of the storage bin, and the CD drive is busted, so I had to replace
No,
that.
I mean, very limited stuff had to get fixed. Somewhere along the line, like I broke my Wavebird controller, and I was so devastated because they're like so hard to come by. And the controllers, it's the wireless controllers for the GameCube. And still to this day, people say it's one of the best wireless controllers ever. But I did find somebody who could repair that for me. I'm trying to think. I don't think anything else was really in any disrepair at all. I mean, we didn't keep much of it. So even when we lived at the condo, that stuff was stored on site, like at the condo. Like I didn't put it in this. We had a storage unit as well, but none of the video game stuff ever made it over to the storage unit itself because it wasn't climate controlled.
Right. Yeah, I would never.
Yeah. So like yeah, I mean, and I think I look online and I see some of these people's setups and I drool over them. Everybody, like, I get a lot of compliments on this room and I'm proud of it because of the work that we've done to make it happen. And if it wasn't for this show, a lot of what I have wouldn't be here because, you know, like some of the stuff that we get like for doing the show, like goes to pay for like some of the stuff that's set up in here, just to be honest with you.
Right.
But like some of these people's setups I drool over and everybody's like, dude, your setup's so much better than that. And I'm like, I don't know. I think these are pretty sick. Like they're clean. Like there's one, and I can't find the picture of it now, but somebody who's like a huge PlayStation fan their room is like crystal, like white as can be, and the only color is like a bar that's on the back of the TV, like, and it's super super clean. And I wish I could do something like that. And everybody's like, it's just so bland compared to yours. And I'm like, no, like it legitimately like makes me want to like cry because of how pretty it is. Like I'm trying to find it now so I could share it, but like it's super super like just obviously it's a PlayStation fan. Oh, here it is. I found it. So,
So
but yeah, like you guys, I mean, everybody has their own stream for a setup, right? Like what they want to see or how they want it to be. But like for me, even though I have a cool setup, like this to me is really cool looking.
right, it is
You know, like
the white desk and the white lights and
yeah, like and
That's fine.
there's not much to it, right? Like if you look at it and you go, okay, but to me that's super cool. So I mean, like everybody has their own things. Like my father-in-law came down here this weekend and was like, "Man, you just have too much stuff down there. Like it's
yeah,
just all
What?
cluttered." Yeah, he was like, "It's just all cluttered," and he's not wrong. And I also, it was funny because I told him I was like, "Hey, the part of the brick wall that's like behind me that you see now, and I was
Yeah.
like, I really want a graffiti artist to come in and
that'd be
graffiti that
cool.
wall with like video game characters on it."
Well,
And
I
he was
can't
like,
do
"You'd never
graffiti,
be able
but
to."
I could.
He was like, "You'd never be able to sell the house," and I was like, "Yeah, I don't know that I care." Like,
Uh,
like I would love to have it where it looks like it says like game room or arcade, and it has like graffiti Pac-Man or Mario, you know, like something different.
I can't do the cans, but I could paint. I could do a mural on your wall.
I mean,
Uh,
you know, and he's an artist too, but he was like, "Yeah, that's not something that I would be able to do." But I like different setups just kind of strike me as interesting. Like I think it's really cool when they're pretty plain and simple like that PlayStation one I just showed.
like, hey, speaking of that, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up. I don't know how to share the picture.
Well, you can say if you save the picture to
Yeah.
your computer, then you can just add it as an overlay in the chat or in the branding. If you can do the brand side.
Well, I was gonna say is like, oh, like, oh, I'm not trying to flex. Is like, I was gonna say is like, you should be flexing. I mean, like, I mean, that's what you do. I mean, this is what the show's kind of about too. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like, there's nothing
yeah,
wrong with that in a sense. I mean, you put a lot of time, effort, and money and everything else into it, so why not flex it? But
yeah. And it's just one of those things where it's like everybody like. I just want everybody to understand. To me, like you can have a really simple setup without a ton of crap. Like I have a ton of collectibles down here. I have pops. I have amiibo. I have
right,
the Galahorn behind me with the shield from Destiny. But in the Mario Kart, like that's a drivable Mario Kart behind me. But like you can have a very simple setup and it'd be very very cool and just keep like whatever works for you to make your dream setup your dream setup. Like
right.
do your thing. Like, don't think you have to compare to anybody else's. Because, like, I'll tell you right now, if my 16-year-old had his way, this setup would be his room. Like, because
Yeah,
that would be his thing. Like, he would be totally into that setup right there. But like, I think a bunch of different looks, could do it.
right.
You know, um, but there's a lot of different ideas like that people have out there. Like, I think that I see a ton of like I want to say pink and teal. Like those are the two color combinations I see a lot
Yeah,
of.
Yeah.
Kind of like this one right here, which I think this setup is super cool as well.
that cotton candy
But
look.
Yeah,
yeah, that's dope.
yeah, like I think it's super cool. And it's a very small. Like if you look, that's not a very large space, right? Like they did a good job with the space they had to get as much in as they could. They got a couple of hooks for headsets. Like it looks like bonsai trees up in there. Like
And then
that's a cool set. Like
the open computer. too on the wall.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think it's open. It looks
It
like
looks
it's
like it.
vertical
Yeah.
board, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's like this one here that
That's
obviously
fine.
is a bigger space, a much bigger space, but it looks like it's part of their like living room area.
Yeah, cause see the
Yeah,
patio and stuff. I like how
yeah.
they got it lit, and then all the screens are connected and make that one picture. That's fly.
Yeah.
Ryan, have you ever seen those? They call them like cloud lighting. I've seen them on TikTok and
Oh,
like
I have
Instagram
a
and stuff.
picture of one. Yeah, hold on.
That would look sick in your room just because you have a big ceiling.
Yeah, we talked about it, but I saw somebody do a let me see, I have one somewhere. I saw a video on TikTok of this lady actually showing how you build it.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like and then I saw that there's a bunch of different ways to do it. Um I'll put the actual link to the YouTube video in the chat if people want to go check that out.
Hey,
I think that
But
looks so cool.
yeah, dude, for me, the one thing I would want to do with that, and everybody if they're watching and want to go check that video out, I would want it to be sound activated.
Like thunder.
So like yeah, so when I'm listening to music and it's bumping down here and I've got the
Okay.
theater speakers on, like it would be like lightning in the sky above me in the clouds.
Right.
Like yeah, that would be really cool. But the wife would not be having that. I'm telling you now.
She's against the cloud lighting.
I think the cloud lighting would be like on the other side of the line. Like there's a fine line with what I can get away with down here. I mean, I got orange and blue walls. Like I literally was like, hey, I want to do orange and blue for FC Cincinnati. There's a bunch of soccer memorabilia down here as well, obviously. But like I have an orange wall in this room. Like you can't see it right now because it's in front of me, but it's straight up orange. Like I got away with it. And I think if I did any other like crazy stuff, she'd be like, yeah, no.
yeah, you were sleeping in the garage.
Yeah, I mean, this room only has a love seat. I need it to have a full size couch.
Man.
But
All right,
there's a lot of really cool ones. Did you find that?
Yeah, I got the picture, but from
Can
what
you-
I'm looking at, I can only share screen and video
Okay, well,
file.
just share your screen.
All right, I'm about to share a screen.
Share your
I got
screen.
photos.
Because you should be able to share you should be able to share a tab if you go to share screen.
Okay, all right, yeah.
You should be able to share that tab,
no,
a Chrome tab or window.
Chrome tab, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, our audio listeners are going to be like, "Wait, what?"
So this is T. Can you guys see it?
Yeah, I put it
All
up.
right,
We're up.
All right, so this is T-Pain's one side of his game room.
Okay, this isn't fair though, Tay.
Hey, no, but look, my dream room is to mix my audio with my gaming, because you can see he got the studio stuff there. Then he has to like, oh, hold on, let me go to the other picture. Oh Lord, like
I love that he tweets like, for those who are wondering, here's a picture of the whole setup. Like, thanks,
Yeah.
T-Pain.
yeah, it's
Speakers
crazy,
are huge.
Dude, look at that sub.
yeah, and those
Like-
ain't cheap.
Well, and he's got 2 monitor speakers. I wish I could just zoom in and only show. Let me see if we can only show that. There we go. It's a little bit bigger for people to see. But like that sub is ridiculous. And the 2 those look like KRK. They might not be KRK, but they look like KRK 3-inch monitors right there as well. That's
no, those,
crazy.
I think those are. I think I got a pair of those. I can't remember the name of them. Those aren't KRKs. Those are the limited edition. Those are the white ones. I got the yellow ones.
Okay. Yeah, I have a pair of KRKs that I haven't used in a long time, but yeah, they're sitting in one of the lockers right now. Those speakers are legit.
Definitely.
Like,
So that is motivation for me.
yeah, dude. I mean, with you being involved in music and gaming, like if you can do a room that does both, I just think that would be a really cool thing for you.
And even with Snoop, have you seen Snoop Dogg he has a whole building for gaming. Hold on, let me see if I can find a picture.
Oh my god.
Someone just needs to teach him how to go offline once he's done streaming.
Oh yeah,
That stream was
yeah.
awesome because people were still in the chat wondering what was going on that whole time. What are you doing, doggo? The dog's coming to say hi to everybody. I don't know how he got down here, but yeah, I mean, Mark, your setup, you want a big old LAN party, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to see if there's a there's a GameWorks in Newport has like an esports lounge. I wonder if they have any pictures of it or anything, like, because I think that kind of strikes me to how, like, I feel like your setup would be like 2 6 foot to 8 foot long desks, like almost back to back
Yeah.
with
Or
like
just
computers.
like so like it kind of depends too. Like so like in the past I had the 2 6-foot desks and we were like teams 2 on 2 on each side, just
Yeah.
space. But if I could fit 4 people on one side and then 4 people on the other so you could play each other, that'd be a lot of fun, but that's kind of hard to get that many people together nowadays anyway, but
Yeah, but if with the right size monitors, you could make that happen.
right.
I actually really like that. So I have and I don't have it set up right now, but I have a monitor stand that stacks monitors, like one on top of each other.
I have one of those. I haven't put it together.
So
Either.
I thought about, because the max size you can do on those is 32s. I thought about doing 4 sets of those with 32-inch TVs on them, and then have 8 total consoles and have a 4v4 station set up.
All right. Well, I was sitting here. I was sitting here trying to find it. So they have little pictures of it, but he did it on MTV Cribs. Like he has a whole floor of a warehouse, and it's just for gaming. All his walls are green screen, and he has pictures on the walls. Yeah.
Why do you need green screen walls?
Because he does a lot of shows and stuff from his house.
Gotcha. I just feel like mixing that with gaming is a little confusing.
Well, let me see if I can show this one. Hold on. Share screen. Okay.
Stop. Was this the episode with Nate Dogg in it?
No.
So it was the other one.
Yeah. I think this is his new one. This is the one where he left it streaming and he got mad. Okay. So that's part of the room.
I'm pretty sure that it's this link that I'm going to share in the...
And that's when he quit Madden.
For the YouTube.
That's when he quit Madden.
Yeah. He, I don't know if somebody was cheating. Yeah, he got whooped. So I got
yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's part of that show, of that Cribs episode where they show the game room. But yeah, he's got an incredible setup too. If you're on limited funds and you're looking to do something similar to what like some of the top line streamers do, you can make that work, right, Mark? I mean, that's doable, isn't it?
Oh, it's super doable. I mean, having money helps. That's for sure. But
of course, he would say that.
Well, no, that's kind of what we're getting at. Like,
right.
People are like, "You spent so much money on your game room," and it's like, yeah, over the course of my lifetime.
Yeah.
Like, most of this stuff wasn't all purchased at one time.
Well,
like,
yeah.
But
that even goes for T-Pain. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't get all that at once. Whether he could have or not, like,
he could have.
You got to figure out what you want to do.
And a lot of his stuff was sponsored. They send him stuff all the time.
Yeah. You ever watch have you ever watched his Twitch streams?
Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah.
They're pretty funny. He's fun. He's a fun person. I mean, that makes sense that he streams on Twitch.
Yeah.
I'm sure YouTube will sign him on here before too long.
Probably. That'd probably be his next go-to, right?
Right.
Yeah, because his podcast is up on YouTube, so I don't know if he might just switch over completely. No diss to Twitch. No diss. Yeah, so I'm trying to piece it together. So I'm gonna have to recruit you guys, get a whole bunch of frishes and cold drinks.
Yeah,
Come
I
on
mean,
over.
I think ultimately, like, you've got an idea of what you want, and that's kind of what. So when we started the whole idea, like, the reality of it was that the other side of our basement is my wife's office. So the first plan was, let's make sure that that space was exactly how we wanted it for her to work, and then this space kind of was like, okay, this is what we have left to work with. How can we fit what we want to fit in? And if you've got like your DJ equipment, your gaming stuff,
Yeah,
if you're trying to squeeze it all in, it's just a matter of finding ways to make the space work.
Right.
yeah. I'm
And
about to turn one of these closets into a booth.
well, yeah, and I my son took his closet doors off so he could have stuff like visually in his closet, like with some of his collectibles and stuff, so he could see it rather
Very smart.
than
It just
you
being
know
stored away.
it
Yeah.
being stored away. Uh,
Um.
Good idea. Good idea.
See, like, I think my goal would be like, it would be yes, like it would be very heavy, like gaming area, but it'd be like, I would just would want like a whole basement of just like entertainment. Like we got pool down there. Maybe a little bar, like a big TV for Sunday games and whatnot.
yeah,
But then just like a whole section to that is just like a his and her gaming PC setup, and then like right next to that, it's like a big area for VR, and like I'm set. That's like all I need. Everything else will find its place, the lighting, everything else. But
yeah. So that's why we don't park in our garage
Mhm.
because in addition to this section, like if you walk out of the game room and walk into the garage, there's foosball, ping pong, and air hockey.
Nice,
Sweet. Yeah.
So like we've got like we initially were like we can squeeze all that into one side and we'll park on the other side, and then it was like, yeah, that's not happening. Um, but I mean, we the goal was to get it to where everybody that wanted to come over and hang out could hang out, and it was just a chill place to be.
right,
Uh, and I think that's kind of what some of these guys do. Like, if you're going to be in it for 8 hours a day, it's got to be something that you really want to sit in for 8 hours, right? Like the
Yeah.
streamers that have
Comfortable.
these cool
Yeah.
setups, and
yeah,
like I am not nearly as comfortable in my gaming chair as I am on this love seat.
mhm,
I'm just saying, like this has probably been the most chill and relaxed I've been during a show because I'm more comfortable sitting here. But and when I game, I question like, do people want to see me sitting at my gaming chair if I'm streaming, or would they be cool if I sit on the couch? And I did a couple King's Hammer streams like from the couch.
Hold on. Well, let me move this way. I got my lazy boy right there too. So
Yeah, dude. Like I think that ultimately your dream gaming setup, man, has to be your setup. Like what works for you or what works
right,
for whoever it is that, is out there playing.
but my issue is finding a good desk.
It would
I can't.
depending on what you want. Like Mark's setup where he was like, "Hey, I need two really long desks so I can sit 4 and 4." I have that setup essentially behind me. Like I
yeah.
could do it, and I like those came from Amazon.
I just used those plastic 6 foot lifetime tables.
Yeah, it
Thought the
doesn't it doesn't
wasn't
take much.
perfect, but
I need more like a. I wouldn't say a gaming desk, more like a workstation. I
yeah,
got the like an architect table, then it has the second shelf, but it's like not completely over the table on the bottom type thing, and it's like L shape, kind of
Yeah.
like it's sitting in the corner. I need one of those.
Yeah, the L shape is nice. That's what my wife is working on, like in her office. She has an L shaped desk that is a gaming desk. Um, and you can get those fairly. I don't want to say they're cheap. You can get them fairly inexpensive from different places with different setups. Some of them have like the little extra station where you can like stack your monitor on top, and other ones don't. But you can find those. Like there's a on Amazon just with a quick search, like $85, Mr. Ironstone L-shaped desk, 50 inches, like 85.99.
All right, hold on. We gotta put that link up.
But I got you, bro. I got you. And this is non-sponsored, but like
Yeah, not sponsored.
if you're looking to put together your dream setup, and an L-shaped desk is one of your things, it's in the chat now. You can see it. It's a big old link that went into the chat, but hopefully you guys can all catch that if you're interested in something like that.
See, if I'm going for Dream Desk, it's the Uplift Desk. You ever seen those?
Is that the one that like you can stand up and?
Yeah, they're like electronic, and you can raise and lower them, and you can just you can completely customize them, like what kind of wood, what kind of metal, what color of the metal you want. Like you want some like matte black.
What's the price?
Oh,
there.
T-Pain price, but
yeah, T-Pain can make that happen, but the three of us would have to combine efforts and then hope for the best.
It's not that you can't afford it. I'm sure you could, get some financing on it if you really wanted to. But I mean, it has all in the works. I mean, you can make sure you can have like USB ports in the top and stuff like that. And I'm also the kind of person that would be like, man, like let's say I do stream like 8 hours a day for a living. I would buy one of those just so I could put like one of those like tiny treadmills underneath, and then for like every couple of hours just raise the desk and just walk, just so I'm not sitting down all day, because like I just know how bad that can be.
Yeah, that's my struggle with sitting in the office, like just sitting.
Yeah.
Like I have to get up and do some stuff.
All right. Now, I know we're getting close to time. All right, fellas. Name one item that if you could have in your game room right now, what would it be?
Pinball machine.
A
VP Cabs pinball machine from vpcabs.com. Non-sponsored.
Non-sponsored.
But they were on Shark Tank. And Jesse, that owns Arcade Legacy out in the Old Forest Fair Mall out in Cincinnati Mills Mall, his brother owns that company that does VP Cabs. They do some really cool stuff. It's like virtual pinball machines. I want one of those because it would give me more than one pinball machine in the room at one time. But if I could just have one pinball machine in the room and I could never have anything else, it would have to be a music-related game or the Willy Wonka table. The Willy Wonka pinball machine is one of my favorites of all time. I mean, it would take like some serious cash to get one of those.
$8,495 for the
dang! Why you do that? See, he goes out there and throws the dollar amount there. So now, if my wife is listening to the show, she knows.
No, we're talking about the Wizard, not the Classic.
Oh, you're talking about the Wizard?
Yeah.
So the VP cabs, like they're expensive, but they're really cool looking. But the Willy Wonka cabinet that I want, like it's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's a collector's edition cabinet. It's $12,000.
See, I just saved you 2. I found one for 10.
Yeah, the collector's edition is $12,500. And it has a camera in it, so when you're playing, like your face will pop up and they make you an Oompa Loompa. And it has some really cool stuff. I'll never own one of those. Like
never say never.
Yeah, as I say, you're cutting yourself short.
Yeah, I just know,
maybe Tay's feeling generous. You just never know.
Or maybe we can get a sponsor. I'm just saying,
Yeah, no, like I think for me it's a pinball machine. That's the one thing I truly think my current setup is missing. And I would pinball, like, and if I could take these 3 arcade 1-ups and combine them to one and just make it an NBA Jam cabinet or a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cabinet that plays all of the games, like Mark was saying earlier, like the emulated. And then I could make room for the pinball machine. That would be a way to go. But pinball for me, for sure.
What about you, Mark?
For me, it would just be like a full spacious VR setup.
Like an HTC Vive, like with the extra sensors.
Vive,
and all that stuff.
yep. Vive and like a good 6 to 10 foot radius to walk around.
What's the Facebook VR thing.
Oculus?
Oculus, yeah. Do anybody like that? I haven't heard
Um,
reviews of it.
It's the Vive is by far, in my opinion, as somebody who's played kind of all of them at this point, the one that I would go with if I had the space. I have the PlayStation VR, and at times I'm like, this is really cool, and other times I'm like, this is disappointing because of the constraints that it has. And the Oculus I've played a couple times. It's okay. Like it's just okay. Um, but I think Mark's dream setup idea of a straight up like full space to do it. If you
Right.
can do the Vive, like it's the way to go.
Right.
What about you, Tay? What do you want in yours? Like, what's the one?
One thing, a PS5 on an HD projector screen on my full wall. That's all I want, man. All I want is this. The longest I've waited for any freaking game system. This is a sin, man. This is a sin. This is terrible. This is and PlayStation. If you're listening, man, y'all have broke my
Please
heart.
send Tay a PS5.
PS5. Don't send me
Yeah.
the new one. Send me the old one. I heard some stuff about the new one. It's supposed to be lighter and all that. No, I want the old one. Just
The
send
big
me.
the big
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I just put an FC Cincinnati sticker on my PS5, like a big
The scan.
skin. Like
Yeah.
a skin. Because everything else down here is skinned with FCC, so I was like, I got to do that one too. But yeah, like I could see PS5 is cool. You're really a big PlayStation guy,
Yes.
so like for you, it's definite like, and that seems like a fairly easy get. But I understand the frustration. I know, but I'd say part of me thinks that my pinball machine might be more realistic than you.
Right.
And we know that's not true.
There might be some truth to that.
It is.
Oh,
It's some truth to that because they hurting my feelings right now, man. Like between not getting Grand Theft and not having the PS5, I think this has been the longest I've went without. Well, longest I broke tradition. Like every time a game system came out, I had it. PlayStation came out, I had it. Every time Grand Theft came out, I had it. And now we're waiting, and this is killing me. Oh man!
I mean, it's kind of crazy that we're waiting that long. But on a PlayStation, so we'll hit a couple of little news pieces before we bounce out of here at the hour mark. PlayStation Showcase tomorrow.
Yes.
Right. 4:00 Eastern, 1:00 Pacific. If you're in between, figure that out. Those of you on the other side of the pond, I believe it's 9 p.m. British Standard Time. But definitely worth checking out. We'll see what they announce. They might say PlayStation 5s are going to be more readily available, and Tay will get his dream set up here pretty soon.
Right.
Or not.
Or not.
I'm not.
Or not.
Tease
Thanks.
me.
Mark's
Thanks.
like, no.
Yeah.
The realist. I'll be the realist.
Yeah.
False promises from PlayStation.
Thank you.
Steam said that if the Steam Deck doesn't run your entire library at launch, they're going to see that as a bug. I think that's one, hilarious for them to like phrase it that way, and two, it's really nice to see them say that, which means they are not. It sounds like they have no intention of giving up on this thing. If they're like, well, it runs most of your games, it sounds like they're like, no, if it doesn't run your game, we'll fix it. So I'm glad to hear that.
Plus, right? Because we were all wondering.
Right, we were literally just talking about that last week. I'm still on the RipCod 2021 train. Will it die this year? Will Activision take a break for a couple of years? Probably not, but we can hope. Because I think for COD to be good again, it needs it. But they're just saying that apparently Call of Duty Vanguard is like Modern Warfare with lamer guns, which I can totally understand, and I probably agree with from what I've watched. I haven't played, but I'm just like, this is just World War II again, which is fine. I liked World War II, but I'm just like, why am I gonna buy this? There's nothing that I'm seeing that I'm like, I need this game. Versus Battlefield, like super cool, like awesome. I was like, I need this. And then the other thing that I found was Alan Wake is coming with 4K remaster, so it's pretty cool. It'll be apparently this year. So
And
I do
on
not
other
need
PlayStation
another
news.
remaster.
Yay!
I feel like I'm beating that drum. Like,
Yeah.
please, not another one. But then
Nah,
again, right before the show, I was talking about buying a remastered game.
right.
Was I not?
Treason.
Yeah. So
Treason.
Yeah.
And the end of the PlayStation news, if you have a PS4 and you're updating your PS4 games on the PS5, you're going to have a nice little $10 charge because the PlayStation 5 games are normally $70, not $60. So, yeah. Thanks, PlayStation.
Yeah, that's not bad. I just don't see that as a bad thing. I really don't. I think that it makes sense to do it that way. Because it gives you, instead of charging you, do you want to pay $70 to upgrade?
No.
Yeah. So like,
I would take my PlayStation to GameStop if they did that.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's it for me. Like the $10 upgrade keeps it from being a $70 upgrade.
Cool. Indeed. Facts.
You know,
Facts.
I mean, it's just like with Madden, where I had to buy the $100 edition to get the one for the Xbox One and the Series X. Like I
Sure.
I had to pay more to get both copies of the game, but it was cheaper than me buying them both separately. So
Sure.
yeah,
Oh,
I'll take that.
you know, I'm just beefing with PlayStation right now. My
Oh, I
whole
know
shit.
Mhm.
you're just all upset. I get it. And dude, I get it. Like they said, I know you're a big PlayStation fan and you can't get what you want, and that's frustrating.
yeah.
You
Like
know, I think I'm gonna be the same way when the OLED Switch comes out, because I didn't get a pre-order on it, and I play my Switch off the dock a lot. I think it's gonna be an issue. I think I'm gonna have trouble finding one.
I mean, I guess like I'm really curious when you get that if like you're gonna be. Do you think you're gonna be disappointed? Like, do you think that's a possibility?
Oh, it's possible.
I
It's
mean, I just
absolutely possible. I mean, I think so. I have the original Switch with the original battery life and everything, right? I have
right.
a Switch Lite the kids kind of mess around with, and then I have the newer model with the extended battery life. And I'm just interested to see how long the battery life is on the OLED. I'm really bad about not putting it on the dock at the end of a day after I've played it for a bit.
Mm,
Um, or like I'll take it to work with me all week long and play a little bit every day, and then by Friday it's dead.
right.
My previous boss can attest to this because I went into his office and was like, "Hey, does your phone charger, is that a USB-C plug? Can I plug in my Switch?"
He did.
I did. I did. He may be watching the show. If he's watching, Heath, if you're watching, like, legitimize this because it happened. And he was like, "You're gonna
Oh
sit this
man,
on my desk and hope like that people like don't say
take
something
it.
to me about
Oh,
having a Switch on my desk." And I'm like, "Nobody's gonna know what it is." Like he said the same thing after, like, "Yeah, you're probably right. Nobody would know what it is other than the people in our department." But yeah, I went into his office and asked him to. Oh man, their dog's going crazy. Sorry.
it's okay. You can
Um,
barely hear him.
um, but went into his office and basically gave him my Switch and said, "Hey, please charge this so I can play it during my lunch break." Um,
Nice.
but yeah, like so, if the OLED one lasts a little bit longer and gets me through the week, awesome.
Hey,
You
shout out
know,
to the former boss. We go. Yeah,
yeah,
don't too many
yeah,
bosses do that.
yeah, he. Well, I mean, he is a gamer, so and he does watch the show. I know he watches the show. Um, so I mean, we talked quite a bit about different episodes and stuff. So I I don't know. I think I could be disappointed, Mark. You're probably right.
I mean,
I may not even get one if I can't find one. I'm not gonna. It's not like Tay where I'm like I have to have that one.
right.
Like where he wants a PS5 so bad. If I don't get it, I don't get it. Like if it is what it is.
I'm not a
Oh,
person who regrets buying their Switch, but I just don't play it as much as you do. So
Yeah.
like I mean it would make sense that I'm not getting it, but like I guess I'm not surprised that you're wanting to get one because it makes sense. You play it a lot and like
Yeah.
the purchase makes sense. But I am curious if your expectations of that new device might be just the device might just not meet them.
I don't have very high expectations for it.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, it probably won't disappoint me as much as it could.
Right.
Um, so like the fact that it's not 4K upgrade, like it didn't have, certain things. Like I was disappointed when they announced it because I was really hoping for like a Switch Pro or something like that.
Right.
But because I know what I'm getting at this point, like if I get one, I don't know that I'll be as disappointed as I was at the announcement of it originally, if that makes sense.
You get a bigger screen and longer battery life.
Yeah, and given how much I play it out of the dock, like that makes sense for me because I play it in handheld mode a lot. But if you play it in docked mode, it doesn't make sense for you to want the new one,
Right.
in my opinion. So,
alrighty, fellas, and we're gonna have to call that one a wrap. You don't have to go anywhere, but you gotta get.
You can't stay here.
Peace.
All right, we'll be back next week for another show. We do not have a topic for next week's show yet, so here's
hit us
the
on
thing.
social media.
Get out on social media, send us a message, throw it out there. Be sure to follow at Team Frisch on Twitter. Send Team Frisch a message. Say, this is what I want the podcast to be about next week. Tell them that we sent you. Be sure to hit them up and say, we want this topic on the next Connection Interruption podcast. And hopefully, for Mark's sake, it's not sports games.
Yeah. Sorry, Mark.
I
It's
have
okay. I do have a really good sports game topic for a future show, but it's kind of an interesting one. So we'll just pitch it real
eventually
quick.
we'll get there. So the concept is you have $15 or an X number of dollars to spend, and there's games in different categories. Like these four games are $5. These are you can buy one out of each category.
Okay. Like a tier, like a tier list kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a tiered list. So it's like $15 to spend, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And here are the games within it. What are you buying?
Hey,
all of mine would be old games, old sports.
They're
games.
they're almost all old in this list that I've got.
Hey, we should do that. That's so. We should do that at the end of the show. We should
How about different categories of that?
Sure.
Like, so we'll do sports. We can do like RPGs and then like platformers.
Let's do it.
Let's do
that. There we go. So if you're interested in that topic, hit us up. If you want us to talk about something else, hit us up about that. Again, it's scrolling across the screen at Team Frisch on Twitter. Thanks for watching tonight, and we will see you all next time here on the Connection Interruption Podcast.
Peace.
See ya. I'm not waving this time.
We waved.
Hey, hold on.
We got to steal Mark's. There we go. We got to steal Mark's wave. All right. See you next time, everybody.
Also, Lou.